We're recording. I am
Boom.
Leon C. That is Chris P. And this is Default T. Stands for tangent. Episode 9, I believe.
We you haven't got the back and forth camera thing this week.
Yeah. I don't know why that's not happening. I like that. But it doesn't matter.
You don't know why that happened. It just happened.
It happened. I got an update. It happened. I liked it.
But it's not happening.
It's not happening now. The update's still in play because like my smart background's working. You know,
Must have been a button you pushed or something.
Possibly. I think there's been another Zoom meeting on this computer in between the last. Oh, there has.
Okay.
And somebody was fiddling with the options. I remember.
You're cheating on me then.
It wasn't me. It was Jo.
I guessed.
She was on some family deal, and there was loads of them on there, and it was so awkward, and I was like outside of the shot the whole time, and it was just lame. So that sucked. So that's why probably. So today, what housekeeping do we have? I don't believe we've had any corrections, have we?
No, of course you haven't. No one watches.
No. That means everything we got was right and correct. There was another bit of housekeeping I was going to do each week, but I can't remember what that was. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
No big news I can think of springs to mind.
No big news springs to mind.
Nothing that screams out, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just get straight into it then, because there's at least.
Is that a Flash Morgan shirt?
This is a Flash Morgan Webster shirt. I better put my headphones in so they don't click around. This is a vintage, I believe.
Showing off those guns.
Showing off the guns. I should go get some air. What are they called again?
Aerosol.
Airsoft. Go get my airsoft Dan Wesson. That's the bad.
You know what I meant when I said guns, right?
Yeah, I know. Like, play along. It's part of the comedy.
That wasn't funny.
Wow, that's my comedy. I think it's quite funny. I think that whole thing was funny. That was pre-practiced. So
let's go with it.
There's at least two things I want to talk about today.
At least. That's an understatement.
At least. We haven't spoken about Wandavision.
No.
The last episode of Wandavision.
That's because it hasn't happened. Yeah. No, because we haven't recorded since it last happened.
Yeah, so basically, to update the podcast, we are recording this week on a Tuesday. So the last episode that happened was on Friday. I have watched it. I caught up on the first couple of episodes. So I know what happened, but I didn't watch them properly. But I mean, all that really happened was.
Wait, is that one of the things you wanted to talk about?
It's actually not. I just thought of it right then and there. Yeah. I realized the time frame clicked in, and I realized. So let's share some screenage. Let's get some Wandavision up in the background. That's what I was trying to do a second ago.
Dead Vision's a good one.
Yeah, it is actually. That is definitely. So I think it's fair to say, spoilers from here on out, up until the end of episode 4, which is where we are at time of recording.
And possible theories going forward, which might be spoilery, but
yes,
I don't know that because I didn't make the show.
If
I did, it would be considerably shitter.
The Google Images page has certainly updated since we last got on it. But I think what I like to do is get on YouTube and then make it big screen and then pause it because Google Images doesn't let me just enlarge the pictures easily anymore.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be quite simple to do that. I think they used to back when I was in like secondary school, but
they definitely did at one point. And I remember that it was mentioned. I remember it was mentioned somewhere. I think it was even when you tried. It wasn't even that long ago. I think it was like, I don't know if you can hear that. I think it was like 3-4 years ago that it happened. It wasn't too long ago. But ultimately, there was a whole hoo-ha about you've got to log into the site. We want you to click through. We don't want you to enlarge. I don't know. I think it's like people weren't getting enough traffic. Probably something to do with that. somewhere down the line. So let's get my screen share going on. This bad boy. Are you insinuating that I'm a clown and this is some kind of circus?
That was not even close to my intention. My intention was just to fill my head with something.
Oh.
Is that the trailer?
It came across.
Yes, it is.
This is mid-season trailer.
Yeah.
So let's find a.
By the way, as you can see there, they've got a breakdown of that. What's the name? New Rock Stars.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
So
they reckon they might do a little callback because Wanda's sisters in real life was on one of these sitcom type shows in like the 80s or 90s.
Oh yeah, I imagine they will.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, I think. One of them.
Well, basically, so here's where we are with Wandavision. We're up to the end of episode 4. I think it's fair to say that not much happened episodes 1, 2, 3. It was really just setting the scene.
Yes, story building.
Yeah, and like we pretty much covered that in last episode.
It was essentially a generic sitcom with one or two out of the ordinary things happening, which was then called back to in episode 4 with an outside Westview explanation of why that weird thing had happened.
And episode 4 was much more of a traditional show, looking at it from a
that was more of your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type shows.
Big time. I think that the show now, as we move forward, will be much more of that.
Both of them at the same time, as opposed to lots of one and then the other.
Yeah, I think that like it was a really cool idea to start the series with, but I don't think it's going to stay like. I think we're just going to see a nice.
There are. Yeah, I don't know, you know, because I kind of like the sort of we watch these sitcoms and all the weird stuff goes on for a few episodes, and then we get the reveal after a while. I kind of like that, so I can see them maybe doing it for the next 3 episodes or so.
That's a real good structure. I buy into that. I really buy into that. So basically, yeah, you have 1, 2, 3 episodes that will take place inside this fictitious sitcom type setting, but it is within this world. It is kind of real time, I suppose, sort of, and then we get their Twilight Zone-y eerie moments, which then are broken down when we draw back to reality.
8, was it 9 episodes? We had 4, we've got 5 left.
Oh, so if it was 5 left, then maybe they would do.
Because what we've got left is we have 3 decades. I think we have like the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. We've got the 70s, 80s. I'm not sure, but we've got 3 more decades to go through.
Wasn't it 50s, 60s, and 70s they've done?
I don't know.
It wouldn't have been the 40s. It would have been the 40s, because that would have been like more time.
So what? We finished we've done 50s, 60s, 70s. We've got 80s, 90s, and then all. So that's 3 more episodes.
That makes perfect sense to have those.
So I have 3 more decades, and then the last 2, because I would say in like the final episode, like that'd be the 7th episode. There'd be like a big blow-off moment where it's like, oh crap, there's a problem. And then the last 2 are like the big ending.
The last 2, it could be feasible that the last 2 are like a double episode.
Yeah.
But, even if it's part 1, part 2.
But like I said, I think I said before that there's the people that saw like previews think it's like a 3 episode arc. So the first 3 are part of one arc. So 1 to 3 are one. 4, 5, and 6 are another arc. And then 7, 8, and 9 are the ending. It's like the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Yeah.
And if that's true, these next 3 all might be. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited to find out, to be honest. That's
probably the best thing about this show is that, like, where is it going? What's going to happen? Kind of like, where's it going? And I like in a good way. In a good way.
The only thing we know going forward is that Wanda is in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, the new Marvel film coming out. That's it.
And when's that set for release?
Oh, God knows. I would say possibly this year, if not early 2022. But there's some speculation as to whether she's actually going to be the villain of that film. And it's Wanda versus Doctor Strange. So
Cool.
maybe this is all building her up to be a villain.
I feel like it is.
Have you watched this trailer?
No. No. So let me just see how it plays. Tell me if it's running smoothly your end.
It's not unsmooth. It's not great.
Because
just leave it on, because there's a moment where Vision looks. He's not dead, but he's. If you don't know, episode 4 explains there's a force field around this town in America, and if you go into it, you get transformed into this play being put on. Oh, Vision, I like that one. Inside, and there's an image in this trailer of Vision appearing to be on the outside, but possibly being dragged back in by his cape. There's him going through it, and then in a few. Go on.
I was going to say, I don't even think it's that ambiguous. I think it's quite clear what's happening here. I think it's very clear, actually.
You ever seen Modern Family?
I have.
That image there, where she's talking directly into the camera, is in a carbon copy of those kind of shows. And that's what, the late noughties?
Yeah. Or early
maybe
noughties.
Even the 20, maybe even the 10s.
I think like the early 10s, late noughties, right? So it's so obvious that's the kind of sitcom they're going to go for that period.
Yeah, that's probably the last one of the set of sitcoms.
90s will have to be Friends and Seinfeld.
What have we seen? I don't know. Honestly, that would make sense.
And 80s will be Cheers.
But we'll see.
Or Roseanne. Okay.
I've heard of these things, but I got a clue, because unlike you, I was born later.
No, you weren't. So basically,
Mate, you're like 10 years older than me.
No, I'm not. So
yes, you are.
No, I'm not. So when we get there, we'll find out. But to give my opinion on WandaVision, it's pretty obvious, right? So WandaVision, it's her vision, like, you know, and I know it's play on with the two things, WandaVision. This is like obvious. WandaVision, she's all depressed because Vision got killed, so she wants to create her perfect family life. And a lot, and this is probably they might go into it, and I guess she either has 100% control over it, or she has an influence over it, because it definitely feels like she's not completely in control, but it feels like she's got a grasp on the situation. And I think she's like happy here, and I think that some of these other characters that are coming up are manifestations of her personalities and her feelings.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the Rockstar breakdown for episode 4, but they when they go, they take people's pictures and they find a real life counterpart for the people they see on screen, and they put them together.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
You know, Agnes, the black-haired woman that turns up with a pineapple. Well, it's heavily suspected she's involved in whatever's going on in a evil way, and coincidentally, they've not found a real person for her who lived in Westview.
Okay.
So on the board of all these people, she's not there. So she seems to be extra from somewhere.
So that she could be like one of these manifestations I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's what I think is the score. What's happened now? So basically, in short, to break it down, first couple of episodes, we go through the different cycles of sitcoms, 50s, 60s, 70s. Then in the third episode, it's they have babies, or it's revealed that she's going to have babies. Then when we get to episode 4, we come out into what's, like the real world, as it were.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, and very much what's the thing I'm thinking of? Like they're basically in a bubble. Like Chris said, they're in a bubble. Inside this bubble, it is manifesting these things, and they're able. People on the outside, Sword, that is, Sword are now
sentient weapon something response division, something like that.
I feel like we're gonna have an acronym.
There, go back. There.
Here?
No, go back and play it, and you'll see what I mean with Vision on his knees. There's going to be some kind of Wanda versus Vision fight.
Possibly. Or that might just be like, like oh, my head, like one of these moments. Like, oh,
no. There's the final shot of the trailer is like Wanda levitating up with her powers out and Vision levitating up directly opposed to her. And there's also a line from Vision where he says, you can hear it in his voice where he's distressed. And he says something like, what's outside of Westview? In a sort of, there's something going on, I'm kind of scared way. It's definitely worth checking out.
I still buy into the fact that Vision is like a manifestation, unless there's something we don't know, which they haven't.
Oh, he's dead. That shot of like where he's not dead, but he's walking around, that kind of suggests he's still dead. She's reanimating him somehow.
Yeah.
There, come back again. 114, I think.
Oh.
There. That.
Yeah.
That's the shot. He's outside of Westview there, and someone seems to be dragging him back in.
So, and also, here's the thing, right? So, like...
Woo! I got a theory of what's happening there.
Okay.
As he's coming out of Westview, he's dying. The further he gets out of Westview, the less reanimation power he has. Therefore, he's dropped to his knees, he's losing power, and as soon as that cape comes out, he's back to being just dead. That's what I think is going on there. And that, if that turns out to be correct, I'm going to be well happy because I thought about it all by myself. I sound like a child right now, but okay.
Well, we see. Well, you've already admitted to being 10 years younger than me, so that makes you at least 5.
You're 15.
So anyway, this looks good, looks intriguing. Don't know what's going to happen next. Oh.
It was just there for a second. Wonder and Vision just against each other. Play it again for like half a second. We'll try and... It's after that.
I know, but let's get a bit of... Yeah.
You see them up again. They don't look like they're... They don't look like they're happy.
I really feel that Vision is just part of her personality, and it's like her conscience, and that's the form it's taken. Kind of.
What does that sitcom, what setting does that remind you of? Because I don't know.
That's Married with Children all day long.
Is that the black guy?
No, Married with Children is Ted Bundy, who is in Modern Family, funny enough. He is the dad.
Oh, yes, Family. Of course.
And
what am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Oh, it's bloody brilliant.
Cosby Show.
No, I know who Bill Bloody Cosby is. I'll have to find it for you later. It's like quite a young bloke and his wife, they've got 2 kids. It's pretty brilliant. Anyway, back on track. But yeah, that doesn't look like a happy marriage.
No, which is the general theme of Married with Children.
I don't think they ever got into a cosmic battle, though. I could be wrong. But...
I mean, not physically, but every episode there's like a constant dig fest. It's kind of part of the gimmick of the show. Simpsons do a lot of funny takes on it. yeah. So there you go. So I think that's kind of like our messy, kind of scrappy review of it so far. There's not really like a lot to report. It's kind of something that you kind of do have to kind of watch.
Or you could do the Leo method and just watch 3 breakdowns and then catch the 4th episode. Because the 4th episode is the one that really ties it all together.
Yeah, I do think that after this, I have to be paying attention each week.
But to be fair, the episodes are they're between 20 and 28 minutes long, so they're not a big chunk of your time.
Episode 4 was like 40 minutes.
28 if you discount the credits.
Okay.
It says like 32, but then when the episode finishes, it's on 28.
Well, yeah. So that's that. So, WandaVision. Stay tuned. We'll keep talking about it each week and see what happens. But in short, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I can't say I'm like waiting with bated breath.
I am.
You know. But, I mean,
My Wife and Kids is the one I was thinking of.
My Wife and Kids. Oh yes. I think that's naughty.
I would say so.
Yeah. So cool. So another thing, did you want to speak about anything? Did you have anything?
That was it.
Okay, cool.
That was it, yeah.
I had a feeling it was.
I just sit back and listen to you rant like last night.
Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to talk about, but yeah, we'll go to Deca-dence. Deca-dence. So this is Deca-dence, right? And Deca-dence is an anime, and I'm going to go into spoiler territory because
I just want to jump out in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you sent me what I guess is it a trailer or is it like the introduction to the episodes?
It's the introduction to the episodes, but you wouldn't see that on episode 1. You'd see it on like episode 2.
That's fine. Well, that thing, I'm not an anime fan, so I'm never really going to see something and be taken by it. But that thing gave literally no indication as to what the fuck was going on or what it's about. I have no idea. A part of me thought it might have been something to do with Titans because it appeared people were becoming things, but I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
Because that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is the madness of this show, right? And like watching this intro. Oh, nice crackly, rattly, great comment.
Amadale.
Great comment.
We're 2 idiots in our bedroom. I'm not fucking, I don't know, a big YouTuber. I'm not a sideman.
I love it. We should clip that. So.
Well, I'm not a sideman.
Yeah. So Deca-dence, right? So yeah, this intro, because I wanted you to kind of see like all aspects of it, but like with zero context. This shit is like batshit crazy madness. And
it's only of Digimon. It does seem like there's some kind of digital element sometimes.
There is kind of. So in anime, there is stop on this guy. There you go. You see that guy turning into that guy. So this there's a type of anime.
Why would you turn into that?
Which I'll explain now. So there is a genre of anime which is very fucking popular, called isekai, and it translates roughly, from my understanding, as another world. So Sword Art Online is something that's very popular. You've probably heard of Sword Art Online. You may have seen it come up on like Netflix, that kind of thing. But you've got Sword Art Online. There's another popular one called Hack. And there's a shitload of other ones that I can't even think of off the top of my head, but there's fucking loads. Some of them have like very matter of fact names, like How I Became a Human Slime, because it's about a guy who reincarnated. No, how I died and came back reincarnated as a slime, and like that's what it's called, and that's what it's about. So like. At least
the title really gives away what's going on.
Well, yeah. So it's that one in particular starts off as some dude who's just like us in a world like us, who dies I don't know if exactly I'm getting the details.
He gets reincarnated as slime. You know, it like literally says it on the tin.
Yeah, in like a medieval fantasy kind of setting, akin to something like Dragon Quest or like Final Fantasy, that kind of thing. So there's a shitload of them, right? where people just wake up in a computer game, or wake up in a world akin to a computer game, or wake up in like a Dungeons and Dragons world. Dungeons and Dragons is, I think did they do a film of Dungeons and Dragons? But there's a Dungeons and Dragons show stroke film where they all get transported into like a Dungeons and Dragons type game, that kind of thing. So I'm probably getting names of things wrong here, but ultimately this is kind of like a reverse one of those. To give you some brief background, right? This dude on screen is a cyborg, okay? Now, when you watch this opening show...
Is this what you were talking to me about yesterday?
Yeah, this is what I was talking to you about yesterday. Okay, so when you start the show, you are not presented with these cyborgs. You are presented with this wasteland world that we can see in the background here. And there are humans who are basically traveling on a massive ship called Deca-dence, which is this thing, right? Like, it's not a ship, it's more like it's like a sand crawler, but like much bigger. Like
Star Wars reference.
Yeah, it's probably like 100 to 1,000 sand crawlers, maybe even more, maybe 1 million. It's huge. So like, and the humanity has been reduced. Like, humanity's population has been reduced to just what's living on this moving giant sand crawler, right? So all that's left of humanity is in there, and they move around, and they are fighting off a type of creature, and the creatures are called like Gadal or something like that, right? And what you don't find out, so this is one of the main characters, this dude. What you don't find out in the first episode is what's really happening. So if I've already got your attention and you desperately want to watch this, like, warning now, heavy spoilers coming, because I'm going to speak about everything pretty much to about halfway through. And it's only 12 episodes, and they're all about 20 minutes each. So it's not like massively long, but spoilers turn out. You've been warned. So anyway, you're presented with these humans, right? And in the second or third episode, it's revealed that this is all like manufactured. At this point, you're kind of thinking as a viewer, is this a simulation? Is this fake? Like, what am I watching here? But the best word is manufactured. The humans are real, and they are there, and that is how many left. They give you like a brief history lesson on one of the episodes where they say humanity got out of control, nuclear war, blah 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 blah, and they reduced their own population. Cyborg population just multiplied, like, whether that was through their own multiplication and humans or whatever, but cyborgs effectively took over, and now like probably 90, 95, 99% of the planet is just like barren, and these cyborgs all live up on this spaceship for the most part, looking down on Earth, and Earth is just like this playground now for the cyborgs. So to go back a little bit, this dude here is a cyborg, right? And they all look like toys, like these crazy kind of little toys. I'm trying to get like a facial view, but I'll just let it play for a second. They all basically look like these fucking toys, and it's like real.
Doesn't look very intimidating.
No. But like, this is the thing that I love so much about it, right? Like, these cyborgs do not, here's a load. These cyborgs, they kind of like Pokemon or Digimon or something, you know what I mean? Like, these cyborgs don't kind of adhere to like a human design, you know what I mean? Like, they're not like, they don't look up to humans. To them, humans are just like cattle at best. To them, humans are just NPCs. Like, to them, humans are nothing but NPCs in this game that they go to play. And what happens is, because they've got all this technology, they just grow. They grow all the monsters that they fight, which I'll try and find some pictures of in a minute. They grow all these monsters that fight, and they're all programmed to like act a certain way. It even mentions in part of it, says they're barely autonomous. Like, you know what I mean? They don't even really think. They're just programmed. They've got like you would in a computer game. They've got behavior patterns. Like, so they get hunted, and all these cyborgs, this crew especially, they log in with their own created avatars, which are real physical like clone humans, which they design and customize. So this big dude in the middle, I'll see if it comes up with his avatar in a bit. His big dude's just like this brute dude with like, you know, like a punk looking guy, but he's all purple and shit. So when you're seeing him having these wars, these battles on the ground, the humans all think it's real. Like they don't know what's going on, and they're like part of this world, this game inside this bubble, and they're having like this really traumatic war. You know, sometimes there'd be like a big event, and they think it's like we're going to end the war. We're going to end this war now because this big event that's being put on by the game. And where all these guys are just like, sweet, we've got a big event coming up, maybe unlock some new shit, you know, like in Monster Hunter, like, you know what I mean? But as the humans, like, when they beat one of the events, and the humans are like, we fucking did it, freedom, we don't have to fight anymore. And all these dudes just like, what's next? And all this like, kind of like, Truman Show style, like, but digital panel, or like changes the sky, and then all these other monsters come up in the background, and it's like next stage. And the guy's like, sweet, like, you know what I mean? Like, next stage. And all the humans are just like completely like disturbed by this. Like, we just lost loads of friends for nothing, you know, they don't even know what's going on. So this show, so that's like the premise, you know, and there's a load of real humans. And this woman here, she's like a legend. She's like one of their commanders, and she's like a legend. But all these people don't know what the score is. They all think this is like a shoot, you know what I mean? And there's like an image of one of the things, and that's symbolic. That's symbolic of the network of cyborgs and shit. The humans, they're all kept track of. Every single human has got a chip. So this is symbolic of this bubble that they all live in, right? And or it might be a part of a different network because it's all made of cyborgs, but they all live in a bubble not too dissimilar to this kind of thing. And if a human goes outside the bubble, then they're just like aneurysm, dead. The chip goes off in their head, dead. And if actually no, this is something else. But yeah, that's what happens. If they try and leave the area, they are dead. They cannot leave. But there's a human. When the human dies, when any human dies, they just dispose of the body, and they write that one off the network. There's a human that they think dies but survives, so gets written off the records, and that so she's what they refer to as a bug in the system, and she cannot be tracked. So she's part of like the key to trying to save humanity, because she's going to be able to go places that the others can't go. And there's so much, like there's so many layers to this story, because that's just the premise. You know, there's all kinds of other layers, because you do touch lightly on what does it mean to be alive, which is one of my favorite subjects. You know, you've got humans and cyborgs, but the humans are just seen as NPCs. The humans are not even seen as really alive almost by the cyborgs, but the cyborgs are part of this system, and it gets so crazy. So here you go. This is like basically the main character here. These guys are the game cops, and these guys can take shape as humans as well. Like if they want to quickly log into the game, they can turn up kind of a la Matrix almost. And this is the girl here who's kind of like the key. And yeah, it's just a fucking crazy batshit show. Like here you go.
That's the football guy.
Yeah. So here you're getting a little rundown of some of these other characters. So like that was that big punk looking monster dude. That's his human avatar. And like, so the people on the right here are real humans, and the people on the left are the avatars.
He's not exactly looking like a human. If you saw that guy walking down the street, you wouldn't think, oh look, there's Dave.
Keep in mind, like these guys are living in a real post-apocalyptic future. They see these guys out on the battlefield. They don't really see them anywhere else. And what do they know? Because the things they're fighting are freaky as shit anyway. They don't really know what's a normal human look like anyway. You know, like, so you see that they're all pretty much, you can all pretty much tell they don't look like natural humans apart from him, who was. So then that guy's one of the big bads. There we go. So here we're going to get to the animation is absolutely fucking stunning, and here you can see them actually fighting the Gadal, as it were. I mean, that's going to be moving way too quick. I imagine you picked that as well, but you can kind of get it. Like the fighting is insane.
Jesus Christ! Look at the size of her tits.
Well, yeah, they don't hold back.
Wow.
That's the reason to watch alone. And then you can see them fighting. I want to get a good picture of the Gadal. But there's like one crazy one. They come in all shapes and sizes. There's not like, there you go, one guy in the jaw of one fighting. So you've got like and like keep it in mind because I've been on a massive Monster Hunter kick for the last couple of weeks, months. So anything that involves fighting loads of monsters and shit, I'm so down for. You know what I mean?
Okay, so there's humans, and then there's the people that impersonate humans.
But they're not even like hiding it. It's not like, oh, we got to keep it secret. They don't give a fuck. They're the masters of the universe in their minds, like we are of the universe in our minds.
But then they go off with the humans to fight the monsters.
So here you go. So these are some of the things I like talking about. Like these are some of the questions I had watching the show. Okay, so all these other avatars, they don't even fucking see them when they're walking around their shithole, decadence, wasteland town. You know what I mean? And I feel like I either missed a sentence or they just skimmed over it because when they're out in the battlefield, then they see these other crews popping up, you know, and then there are certain humans who will like, they go in and they like their homes, they go in their homes and like, I think there's a bit where like the avatars will go, but the humans aren't allowed. There's a bit in the very beginning and like the girl goes to go in, but she's not allowed in or something. And you look through the door and it's like a load of different like red, pink, blue people like, you know, walking around. So, but yeah, they ultimately they don't really. I mean, they're struggling to survive, so it's like every day is this massive struggle for the humans, and I think like they haven't got time to fucking even find out. But they're so controlled, you know, they're contained. They're like in a massive, just you know, pet
game world.
Yeah, like that's being controlled by the system, the cyborg. So they got no control, like you know what I mean. They're completely like at the mercy of it, and like they live in ignorance. And yeah, it's just a really cool show, and I watched the whole show in about 2 days. So yeah, so I've seen it all, and I highly recommend watching it to anybody. Like I've not really spoiled anything. That the twist is that like they're part of this game world. That's the twist in like the second episode. And when they drop it on you,
which if you're this far in, you already fucking know. It's hardly a twist in this second episode.
Exactly. And there you can see like there's a lot of nods to like computer games, that kind of thing. That's very much like
what's that little thing following that? It looks like a Pokemon.
Yeah, that is like a little kind of Godot offspring type thing that they take in as a pet. And yeah, it's just good, really good. I highly recommend Deca-dence to anyone who's even.
Where can you watch it?
You can watch it on Crunchyroll, Funimation, and if you type on Google and just type in Deca-dence, spelt like that, it will just come up with everywhere you can watch it. But like the top 2 places it gets promoted are Funimation, and I think don't quote me on Crunchyroll, but there you go, Funimation, bang.
Yeah, I can
and it's
only.
in English as well. It is in English.
Huh? That's unusual.
No, it's not. It's really not. Oh yeah, and I want to touch on that. Because everybody has a stance on everyone.
There's a little nerve. Here's me touching it.
Everyone has a stance, right, on dubbed and subbed in an anime community, right? And
community.
I think like fair enough, like what you like, but my first language, like really the only language I speak, is English. So if I'm watching something, especially if it's animated, right, I really want to make the most of the visuals. So if I'm reading the subs, no matter how quickly I read, it is taking me away from the main thing. And I'm not opposed to reading subtitles, but at this, like, if you've got like a live action, a dubbing can look bad and not sync up. With animation, it's much more easily forgiven. And unless it's really obvious, like you will get some animation that is so good that they really lip sync it. I mean, to be fair, even with South Park, they do there's a lot of emphasis on the lip syncing. So, but certain things, it just doesn't make too much of a difference. And the dubbing in a lot of animes over the last 10, 15 years is fucking incredible. To be honest, of all time, because they still remake things. Like if you go back and watch Akira, they've redubbed that several times anyway. But you've definitely heard of Akira. Akira is like the godfather of anime. Well, I'm talking about Akira next week then, because Akira is.
The only Akira I'm aware of is Tozawa.
Akira is the fucking godfather of anime. It's just too good. Akira is the godfather of anime, arguably the greatest of all time, but it's not. But it might be the best feature film of all time. Even by today's standards, animation is mind blowing. I'm not going to get into Akira now.
Slight little tangent on the animations thing here. I want to bring up the Royal Rumble in a very safe manner. Have you heard of the camera angles they used at the Royal Rumble?
No.
Type in Royal Rumble 2021. When you see a video on your side, is it smooth?
Yes, it's smooth my side. But I don't want to I don't want to like pollute the pod. Well, tell me what it is first, and then we'll go back and see if it's worth looking.
They use, when I say camera angles, I don't mean like the thing is here and it's a weird camera angle. When people come down the ramp, they use this really weird camera technique, setting, I don't know what, but it makes them look CGI. It sort of distorts the front, it distorts the, what's it called, the front and rear.
The foreground and background.
It distorts the look of the foreground and background. And I fucking loved it.
Oh, really?
Because although, like, you know everything's done in the Thunderdome, so the entrance ramp is tiny, but it made these people look like they're running for ages. And it just looked really cool, and it's definitely something to look up. If not now, but like later on, because
I check out. Really, I don't think that's going to translate. I don't think the movement of it's going to translate as well through my share.
When you mentioned the animation, it just jogged my memory because vividly, it almost made a couple of them look like CGI, which is really fucking weird because they're real people, and it made real people look CGI. It was weird as fuck.
Fucking awesome. All right, so cool. Definitely got to get your headphones on for the next episode because I'm hearing all kinds of feedback from me as well. You wait till you listen to this episode back. We're so unprofessional right now.
As in, we were not unprofessional at some point?
We're less professional than we usually are. Fast and loose.
God, sometimes, you're a whining git, ain't you?
You know, sometimes it's funny because I watch other podcasts sometimes, and like there is somebody usually on the podcast who takes it more seriously, and sometimes they like make nods at the other one, or like.
See, there are times I think that it should be more serious. There are times I just think, fuck it, I'm just having a conversation with you. Fuck the rest.
And it's better that way anyway. But like one of them, he warned him. One of the other ones, he was like, "Oh, listen the language, please." And it was just like, awkward. It's funny as fuck, and you could just kind of read it on all their faces, like, "Oh, this hobby has become a job."
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen for us.
No, that'd be a nice problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, there are worse issues you can have in the world. Oh shit! Yeah. No, I get paid to talk to people.
Oh.
It's like a more entertaining version of like Good Morning Britain or some shit.
Yeah, maybe. That bike is the iconic bike, Akira, man. I don't even know. I can't even.
You know what? If I'm going to look at a motorbike in an animation, it's going to be the Bike of Mouse from Mars. Fuck Akira.
You unbelievable turd. You unbelievable turd. So there was a few other things I want to talk about, but we have ran for 50 minutes.
Are we? I would say around about 45. Because I started recording about 5 minutes in and we're on 39. So I'd say we got 10 minutes.
I say we got 10 minutes. Okay. Right. So the other thing I want to talk about, and this will be brief because we're going to play some later on tonight, is Forza Horizon 4. Now
did you get a buttload of rewards from playing the other Forza games?
I hope I did. I did because I have played every other Forza game.
Have you got the Forza Hub?
I don't think I have.
It's on the menus, and then it'll take you to the Xbox store. It's free. You install the Forza Hub, it comes up with like your Forza profile, so like all the other games you played, and you get certain amount of points for how much you played the other games.
I've put
There's a
so much
leaderboard.
fucking
Quite cool.
time. I put so much fucking time into Forza 4. So much.
Oh, mine went back to the original Horizon, Horizon 2, Horizon 3, Forza 4, 6, 7, Motorsport. I'm beating you.
Are you?
Yeah, you're like 1,000 points below me, but I don't know what a point constitutes, so I don't know.
Well, put it this way, right? So we're gonna play some Forza Horizon, right? Now the thing is about Forza Horizon, this game is
based in England.
Based in England, yes, which I love. Like, all this shit I love. So it's based in England, right? Which is great. The thing that I'm a big fan of the mainline series, and this doesn't try to be the mainline series. This is, you've got enough information, but it's more, well, it is more about like not being, it's very forgiving. It's a very forgiving game. You can often drive in a straight line without worrying about crashing on this game, no matter where you're going.
Not in a GT500.
Maybe not.
Because I don't know if you've used that car, but fucking hitting the accelerator off the line and the fucking car just does this.
See, that's the thing,
you literally on the steering wheel just doing this, trying to fucking right it on the fucking starting grid.
So on your difficulties, have you got everything on? Like
no. Not all off, I'm varied, but you know you get an increase depending on what your difficulty is. Like you'll get your reward money, but then you get a plus percentage depending on your difficulty.
Yeah.
My plus percentage is 75%, so I'm more off than on.
Oh, fair play. I did not expect that. I did not.
Yeah, I did think you.
I thought you'd be like 0%.
No, my driver difficulty is above average.
I thought you'd be minus.
Fuck you. This is actually something I wanted to talk to you about. My racing line is braking only, no ABS, no assisted braking.
I'm very impressed.
A few other things I can't quite remember.
I'm impressed. If I remember off the top of my head, it's brake assist, driving line,
ABS.
That is brake, isn't it?
No, because it's brake and assist and then anti-lock brakes. Two different things.
Oh, okay. That would explain something actually, because if you turn everything on, you can pretty much not even really have to press the gas.
Well, that's the thing. I did a few races. They went back to the just the general. It's like a racing with like a free drive mode, which I think is great because
that's what I was doing yesterday when we were speaking. Just
you can
around.
drive without the constraints of opponents or routes or tracks. You just drive.
Yeah,
and it was driving. And I came up to a turning, and the car just broke. Not like broke down, it just started braking. I'm like, mate, what the fuck are you doing? I'm trying to drift here, and you're fucking braking. And I hated it. So I turned it off.
So that's the brake assist. So you're playing on automatic?
Yeah, oh god, yeah. I feel like playing on manual kind of takes the fun away from it for me.
No, I'm going to teach you, man. I'm going to fucking teach you. Yeah. I'm genuinely going to teach you because manual, right? You don't understand how much fun you can have with manual, right? Like, it is not a constriction or constraint. It is.
I know.
It is very much an added bonus. I promise you. On Forza Horizon 4, they do have all of the settings. They've got automatic, because this will go against your percentage as well. Automatic, manual. Then you've got manual with clutch as well. Like manual with clutch is sick, but I don't really think it's necessary in this game. But manual with clutch on the mainline series, it is clutch. Manual with clutch.
What the hell is the button mapping for manual with clutch?
LB.
And that's the clutch. And then gear up. Oh god, that's just.
So think about it, right? You've got left trigger brake, right trigger gas. RB is what is? Oh yeah, change camera. LB is your clutch. Then you've got X and B as up and down, as down and up gear. That's right, isn't it? And then I think A.
I don't know. I play automatic.
Of course. Then you've got A is handbrake and Y is something else. So, but I'll show you the fucking ways. But when you're when you've got like in the mainline series, the clutch is so good. It is because like if you don't press it, if you change the gear and you don't press the clutch, you hear like you know like crunches, and
like you would in a car.
yeah, and it can do a lot of damage. So that is like some sick shit. Like, but
that's another tab. You can have damage simulation or cosmetic.
I always have my damage off if I can because I don't.
Nah, a lot of damage on.
No, I hate it. I hate seeing the car with a scratch on or something. Like
don't crash it then.
Yeah, but sometimes people are gonna crash into you, and like it's just gonna. I just like don't want damage on. So what I want to do when we go on there is like drive around, and I just want to teach you the secrets. Although to be fair, you're American muscle man. Like Americans don't drive.
And apparently, it turns out I'm really shit with my favorite car. I'm just shit.
Well, we'll overcome it. My goal is if we enjoy Forza Horizon 4 and can get some fun out of this, my goal is to try and get you on to Forza 7.
What happened?
Well, we don't know. Because one thing I wanted to test you in.
If this is a no, I will never play it. If it's a yes, it doesn't really improve its chances. But does it have a free drive mode?
Yeah, but you're on a track. There's no open areas. It's all track.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them games. It's one of the reasons. One of the biggest, most successful racing games ever was Underground, because they were the first ones that let you free drive.
All I say is this, and it's too early days because we still haven't played Horizon 4 yet. But nighttime, or in the rain, right?
Or on both in your car.
On the Nürburgring, I promise you, I fucking promise you, you've never played anything like it. Because this was.
I don't doubt that. It probably would be an experience.
It's fucking exhilarating. So here's the thing. You won a race earlier on, didn't you?
I did. I won two.
This is the point that I will leave off on, right? Congratulations. This is the point I leave off on. The thing about racing games, there's not many games that do this. It's really just kind of like fighting games and racing games, but fighting games is much more contained and shorter, whereas racing games are constant. Racing games are constant from the moment it is the whistle blows or the light goes green or whatever it is that's setting off the gunfires, whatever it is that's starting the race. From that moment to the end of that race, you are fucking connected. You can't look away.
Yeah.
You can't fucking like you are connected. And if you fuck up once, the likelihood is, depending on how bad you fuck up, like you could potentially lose. So the stakes are high. So you're connected, locked in. The stakes are fucking high, and that in itself creates like a lot of tension. When you win a massive race, so like coming back to Forza 4, when you're racing like a 5-mile track downhill, Japanese mountain toge, right, narrow things, and you can't fuck up even once, and you're connected, and you win. Oh my god! Or you lose. Like the feeling is so real, and that's what these games do. Like they're some of the most exhilarating games you will ever find. Racing games, when done well, are like the best games potentially. So what I'm hoping is we get some good races going on, and we feel some of that flow. And then when we're hitting those levels, like just to introduce you to Forza 7, because it turns it up, man, and it's intense. It's so intense. It's so intense. But we're not there yet. We'll see how Horizon 4 goes. And that's it really, because we can talk more about that when we've actually played together.
Yeah, there'll be more of that. I've been back and forth in the Forza games for a long time.
Yeah, they are. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. They are. They're always there. They're always there. So let's do bets. Oh, I should have stayed on screen. Actually, no, it's probably better then. So let's do bets for the day. We bet is always on views, and I said 19, and you said 9.
8.
You said 8.
No, I said 9. It is 8.
Oh, so we're heading in the right direction.
Gaining. It's making its way up.
We're heading the right direction, but we're heading the wrong direction with Chris winning now a lot. So, Chris, I don't even know what the thing should be, because we just big up stuff, and we always big up like videos with like massive followings, like they even need us bigging them up. Like, have you got any like channels with hardly any followers that could do with some like the odd person? Because I don't want to big up big channels anymore. They do well for themselves.
All I got is a friend of mine who's a massive. I think I've done it before. He's an Instagram. He buys and sells and collects Pokemon cards. LT Roach on Instagram. He's got a hell of a collection. That's all I can think of.
Check them out. And then I think we're going to start working on better prizes for winning than just like bigging somebody up, because we should just big people up throughout the thing anyway if we want. Anyway, there shouldn't be any rules of bigging people up. So, you know, we'll figure out what we're going to do there. Next week, I bet that we're going to be on 10. Oh, I almost stopped the recording then. That was close.
12. Hello?
Chris says 12. I say.
Oh, you went quiet.
Bets, and I think we're on episode 9, even though.
We are. Wait. Yes, we are. Oh, our 8th video got 8 views. Yay.
Oh, lovely. And thank you for the views, everyone. Thank you. Because do appreciate it. So, without
I'm
further...
really confused where that video got 72 views from. I'm really curious.
We did really well that week. 72 views.
Second week. Double figures next week. This week.
Let's do it, people. And I should have said this at the beginning. That was the housekeeping. That was the part of my housekeeping I was going to do. I just remembered it just while we were online. I was going to ask everybody to like and subscribe to the videos, please.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. I was going to say, please like and subscribe to the videos, because it will only
every little helps.
Every little helps. It will only do good. So if you don't like the videos, please dislike the video, because every little helps. I just want to get a reaction. So like it or dislike it.
And
please do
if you did dislike it, why?
Yeah, if you did dislike it, tell us in the comments, and we'll see if we can correct it. If it's just that you generally don't like us, then that's going to be hard to correct. But who knows?
Yeah. Also, if you did dislike it, why the hell are you this far into it? just why? Like,
I did think about starting like a thing like, oh, we're gonna own the dislikes. Everybody just dislike us. But I thought, no, that might not work. In the big picture, that might be bad. So don't.
Well, I mean, be the most disliked video ever. Because right now, I think it's YouTube Rewind 2019, some shit like that. I'm not sure.
Disliked video ever. Excellent.
Something like that, yeah.
Cool. And I got you in my jutsu. Like, that's the picture behind me. I was going to do that at some point. I forgot. It's like that was
that one on your left. Yeah, reminds me of the first one.
Okay, so you're seeing not mirrored. You're not seeing mirrored. I'm seeing mirrored. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but to me it's your left. But anyway, It reminds me of like a spinning Beyblade.
Yeah, it kind of is. This is the genjutsu I referenced before. This ability, if you look into their eyes when they're doing that, they've gotcha. And they basically inception your mind, and they can basically take you down the layers of dreams. And the more powerful they are, the deeper they can go. And they can turn 5 seconds into like 50 days. And they could basically torture you for 50 days in your own mind. But it's only been 5 seconds in real time. And that is just a part of the.
They seem like wonderful people.
Yeah. The Uchiha clan. Uchiha. Yeah.
Your ear keeps coming in and out of like
existence.
It's like your ears are wiggling
constantly. I've got no head.
Oh, that's creepy as hell.
All right, cool. So anyway,
yeah,
good show. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like or dislike and subscribe, even though it's his channel, not mine. His channel, not mine. But
cool.
Yeah. Actually, I tell you, I'm going to big up my own channel if I win next time. Next time I change it, I'm big up my channel anyway. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Now F off.
Great way to say goodbye.